Yo guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. This episode I'm editing right here is going to be slightly different because there's going to be no video. The video got corrupted, but don't worry guys, next week's, actually tomorrow's video is going to be a lot better because there's going to be video for the podcast. So I'm going to see you guys at the end of the podcast. Please enjoy and don't forget to hit the like button.
Welcome back to your source of weekly entertainment and goodness. And remember, it's always a good day for a good day. You're listening to College Culture with Sufy.
Yo guys, welcome back to the third episode of College Culture with Sufy. I am here with
Emily Curie.
Okay, great. What school do you go to?
I'm currently enrolled at NDSU as a pre-med student.
Why did you go for pre-med?
Because, to be honest, I was a medical mystery child and eventually figured it out, but I want to help others like me because it really sucks to be a medical mystery child.
What's like the worst part of being like a medical student?
Of a medical student?
Yeah.
Not a medical student yet.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm a pre-med student. So.
What do you do that's pre-med that makes you pre-med? That's not like, you know?
So pre-med is the degree is in fact a set of classes that a medical school wants you to have as a background, which would include organic chemistry, selective biology, sociology, that kind of stuff, psychology.
That stuff does not sound fun.
Most of the ologies I have to take. I'm currently enrolled in psychology, organic chemistry, a regular old communications class, because that's what NDSU wants me to be in, and and evolutionary biology.
Are you loving it or are you regretting it? And don't lie to the camera.
I actually have either 80% or higher in all my classes at the moment, and it's midterm season, so that was a finger crossed moment. But
dang,
so I'm not regretting it right now. But
how would you describe your time at Ridgewater?
At Ridgewater College in particular, I thought it was very fun, very light. I definitely, in hindsight, think that it's very nice and easy going situation compared to I'm in 3 500-person classes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that many people want to take Orgo. I mean, who other than me? But you know, so that was kind of nice. Is the fact that the class sizes are smaller.
Not bad. How many years until you start your real medical student stuff?
My real medical student stuff would be so I'm currently enrolling at NDSU. I knew that I had 5 semesters to go, so I currently have obviously this is gonna be weird decimal 2.25 left because midterm season.
Okay, dang. I have to ask you a question. Since you've been in school for almost a decade so far, what's something you'd say to somebody who's just about to start next semester? Like any advice you'd give to somebody who's starting college?
I would say definitely if you think that a class isn't necessary or you think it's stupid or dumb or whatever and you just really don't want to go to it, wait till like at least a month and a half until your first big assignment is over and then see if you really absorbed anything in those lectures. And then you could skip. But other than that, don't skip, because once you skip, you're going to go down a very downward hill slope to skipping. And I would not recommend doing that because that is going to put you behind.
Yeah, then it's going to take a minute to like catch up on everything.
And in high school, you're like, oh, I can catch up in a week because the teachers go at such a slower pace than they do in college. And that's nothing wrong with high school at all, because high school is teaching you how to study and how to learn and introducing new topics and all that stuff, which is great. But college is really just... they have no mercy. Yeah, they don't.
So what do you think like mental health plays into like college? Because I feel like people go into college not thinking that might even be something they should be worried about. Like building like a support circle or people they can trust to talk to about their issues and stuff. What do you think about that?
So I definitely think mental health definitely plays a very, very, very key role in the grades that you get. Also, if you don't take care of yourself mentally and all that kind of situation, you tend to have grades that slip. I don't know if you personally, Sufy, have entered a depressive episode on that, but it's really hard to pull yourself right back out of those, especially when you're drowning in schoolwork. So for me personally, to take care of my mental health, I obviously, for some people, not all people, I force myself to take care of like my skincare and all that kind of jazz, and make sure that I write down what I ate that day, because then I know that I ate 3 times a day, and if I don't, then I'm like,
You might skip a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No skipping meals, no skipping any hygiene things, and this cat is attacking me again.
Yeah, guys, we have a murderous cat here.
It's fine. It loves me, I promise.
Actually, you guys can't see it, so it's actually a lion we have here.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There's a question that's I ask every person that's ever been on the podcast, the hundreds of people who've been on so far. What does college culture like mean to you?
Oh god, that's a really broad question.
It is. That's why I try to say it like
so
that.
It really depends upon the culture you go to. Obviously, every school has their pros and cons when it comes to culture.
Yep.
At NDSU, they're really, 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 really into their sports teams there, and they're really into like, oh my god, I'm a Bison, so I'm so much better than everybody else. And personally, as a person that went to Ridgewater, who I think Ridgewater really loves pretty much anybody that shows up there. I'm going to be very honest.
I agree with that.
They love you no matter what. And there's so many different people there that you can always find somebody, which I think is really nice about the culture versus at NDSU. It's really athletics.
So, interesting. Let me ask you, okay, because I know at Ridgewater, everybody's upstairs playing pool. They're all eating lunch together. They're all like wondering what's the next club, what's going on. If something's happening on campus, everybody knows.
Yep.
But at, you said NDSU, right? If you're not like an athlete, people don't talk to you or what?
So one thing I noticed is at Ridgewater, if you're sitting at one of those big open tables in the middle of the cafeteria, anybody will be like, hey, I don't really have anywhere to sit. I don't really have anyone to sit next to. Is it okay if I sit on like the opposite side of the table as you guys and just chill? You're obviously going to say yes. Versus at NDSU, it's not even a question. You will not sit by anybody that you do not know, no matter what. And there's nothing against NDSU, because I obviously go there. I enjoy my time there. And I do have friends there. But if I'm sitting alone in the cafeteria, nobody will approach you. Even if all the tables are full, they will literally take their food and go elsewhere, because they can't.
Are they afraid? Or
I think it's just the culture. It's just the culture of being there. I mean, people won't sit next to each other in those like super comfy chairs that all around campus situation going on. People won't sit next. They have to at least be a chair away. You can't sit across from anybody. Murderous cat. People are scared.
They're a little intimidated.
Yeah, because there are in fact so many people on campus that I mean there are alright. Yeah. Okay. So the thing with NDSU is the reason why the culture is so very different compared to Ridgewater is because there's just so many more people, and I feel like when you put yourself out there, there's so much chance for rejection that you're so scared to put yourself out there. Does that even make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay, because at Ridgewater, everyone is either from Wilmer or they're from a smaller community, or they're like, oh my gosh, Ridgewater's great for this X degree, which would be, most of the time it's vet tech, to be honest. Most of the vet tech students are from anywhere in Minnesota. And so I feel like just the fact that Ridgewater has such a smaller community base that NDSU does is what makes it more inviting. I feel like that's what makes the biggest difference between the two schools.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I do have to ask more personal questions. Like, what are you excited about after school? Are you going straight into a job? Or are you going to travel? What are your plans when you graduate?
Okay, so before I graduate, I really, really hope to do a study abroad semester in Ireland. Because, yes.
Why Ireland?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little cost rundown at the moment. It costs $25,000 a semester to go to London.
25 what?
Thousand.
Oh, okay.
$25,000.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, I know, crazy. But it only costs 16, and I know that sounds really bad, because 16 is a very big number, but it costs $16,000 a semester to go to Ireland. And it cost me about $8,000 to go to NDSU, because I don't live on campus. And that's including housing and everything off campus. It only cost me $8,000 a semester. Okay.
So, but what's in Ireland that you're so excited about? Like,
well, Ireland is only the Isle. I think there's at least an island. I'm not very read up on that topic. I really don't know the geography.
Is Ireland like from Disney movie The Brave? Is that where it's based off of? Or not?
That's Scotland.
Scotland, okay.
Which is a part of the UK.
Okay.
It's Scotland, Wales, and England. Anyways, so Ireland is literally like
Hmm.
a little channel apart from the
Okay.
UK.
Mhm.
So if I go to Ireland, I can do a little ferry boat ride or a little airplane trip on
Mhm.
over to the UK or anywhere in Europe, which I really have enjoyed in my life. I've gone over there once.
Where do you go?
I went to Spain, France, and Italy as a sophomore in high school.
Okay. Okay.
And I really, really enjoyed the culture. I really enjoyed meeting people and hearing their stories and all that kind of jazz. I met a girl who dated a guy who was from Portugal, and they could only speak through Italian.
Oh, okay.
And
Dang.
she spoke French, English, and Italian. He spoke Portuguese, obviously, Italian, and
Yep.
something else. So their overlapping language was Italian.
Mhm.
So they have their whole relationship in not their native languages.
Dang.
And I find people like that just the most amazing people in like the entire world. But the most exciting thing that I'm looking forward to after graduation would in fact be going on to medical school, going on to being a doctor, residency, fellowship, all that kind of stuff, because you're going to meet so many more people that are so much more interesting, and you'll be able to help, or I personally will be able to help more people strive to become better people, I guess, if that makes sense.
So that's your reason for becoming, like, going in the medical field?
Is because I want to help people that nobody else can help. I want to try to be the better person, because some physicians,
What?
I will say, have their biggest faults. They go into medical school for the money. They don't go into it for the people, and I go into it for it, the people,
right?
Versus
Plus,
the money.
Aren't you gonna have like a bunch of debt anyway for after, or no?
Yes. So I actually haven't really read up on it because it's a little scary to look at. But medical school costs a very pretty penny.
Damn.
Very, very pretty penny.
Ooh, I mean, are you just taking out a bunch of loans and stuff like everybody else?
Right now as a child, I had a lot of money anxiety because coming from a single parent household, I had to learn all of this stuff kind of all at once.
Mhm.
So I've been saving to go to college since I was about 12. So I have a stash that I have stashed away.
Mhm.
So I have not yet had to take out loans other than like obviously FAFSA loans.
Mhm.
So that's what I've done so far. Is just take out FAFSA loans.
Okay.
But when I get to med school, I will have to take out actual loans
like
and be an
big
adult.
ones.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Are you? Oh, I had a question in my head and I forgot. Literally blanked on it. Fuck. Oh, have you, since you've been going to school, have you ever thought, man, nah, after this semester, I'm out of here. I'm done. Has that ever slipped your mind? Because I know a lot of college students, they pass through their head like, nah, after the semester, I'm out of here. I ain't coming back.
So it has definitely passed through my head before, like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I don't ever want to do this again. Why do I keep putting myself through this? It's just awful. And then I think of all the people in my life that are like, oh my gosh, you can totally do it. You totally got this. And that's where it comes back to that inner circle moment that you build. My dad is one of my biggest supporters, and so is my significant other. They just both push me so hard to be like, you got this. I know you can do this, and I know you want to do it. And that's where it comes back to what I want to do in life.
Yep.
And if you actually have a dream that you strive for, it pushes you to torture yourself just a little bit more in college every semester.
I definitely feel like that makes sense, especially when you're like down and thinking like, I'm going to get out of here. The people around you, especially your family, will be like, you got this. We'll be leaving you. Plus, I would never tell them like, oh, I'm failing this or that. I should be like, I'm doing fantastic, and then I'll fix it and then get there. I'll never tell them like I'm here or whatever. I'll just kind of get better and better. And I understand what you mean. Like, they are a big drive for you.
Yes, they are in fact a big drive. But that's why I torture myself every semester, even though I'm like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think of, for me, I think of my patients too in the future that I would really, really love to help. And I'm a phlebotomist right now, which means that I draw blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what I do. And so I've had people already give the compliments to me of, oh my gosh, every time I come here, people doubt me. They tell me that, oh my gosh, nobody has ever been that nice to me before. Because some people have a lot of anxiety surrounded around that in general.
Like going to the doctor?
Yeah, going to the doctor or just having their blood drawn. I had a child one time, and she was honest. She's my favorite patient because she's just the sweetest little kid ever. And she's, I don't know, I think she was around 8 when I first started drawing her. I think she had a birthday in between there, but oh my gosh. Every time they come in, we talk about her favorite TV shows and everything in general. And she now has less anxiety about going to the doctor. And getting her blood drawn, which she has to do anyways because she has all these different medical issues. But I'm not going to get into that because that's a HIPAA issue. So
that's why I said don't say anything.
I'm not going to get in there. But so yeah, she's one of my favorite patients, and just her herself is one of the reasons why I want to become a doctor, is because people like her. She's just the cutest.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's good. It's not like man, that check hit real good. Like, at least that's not the reason, because I feel like that feeling's gonna fade. But I feel like that feeling, a feeling of warmth from feeling good of helping somebody, I don't think it's gonna go away.
Yeah.
Besides the medical field, I want to ask, like, was there anything what did you want to be when you were young, if it wasn't the medical field?
So when I was a kid, I always went to career day until about 7th or 8th grade, which is when I wanted to become a doctor. When I was a tiny child, I wanted to be an engineer, just like my dad, because he was my ultimate hero. And I loved math. I love math to this day, but here I am as a pre-med student. But I loved engineering because my dad was just such an amazing person that I was like, oh, all engineers got to be like him.
That is sweet.
That was what I wanted to be when I was a kid.
What switched? Was it the helping people?
Yeah, because as soon as I hit 4th grade, my health really did in fact decline as a child. I mean, not that anyone can see me now, but I'm a very small person. I did not grow a lot because of all of my issues. I've been to Children's, Mayo. I went to all those different things, and eventually I figured it out and was like, oh, just don't eat this. It was the stupidest answer ever.
It was just a dietary thing?
Kind of. It was anxiety mixed with dietary, mixed with just what I was dealt with genetically.
Okay.
It was a whole slew of things mixed together.
But are you feeling better now?
Yeah, I'm able to. I don't have any dietary restrictions. I actually just kind of went through a bout the other day because I had another organic chemistry exam, so I couldn't eat certain foods for an extended period of time. But I'm all better now. Figured myself back out again.
Nice. I'm glad you're doing better.
Thanks.
Okay, another question about college. Okay. What is like your favorite part about your courses right now? Like a highlight, something you're excited about going to school for and seeing, or doing.
Oh gosh, that's really hard.
You're not excited about anything?
Well, I'm excited about going to classes and like seeing my friends and studying. Well, I'm excited to see all my friends, and honestly, this sounds really bad. I don't want anyone to struggle in college. I'm going to preference that. But I love the fact that we all in college struggle together. Because it's like a sense of home. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
It's like, wow, everyone is kind of struggling. Or, oh my gosh, nobody paid attention in that lecture. Or, you really
did you
like
take notes? I swear I hear that all the time. Did you take notes? That's all I hear all the time.
Did you pay attention?
I'm like, no, there's slides on D2L. We're good. Like, you don't got to take notes.
You Gucci, yeah.
Okay. Here's the last question. I think. Oh, I have one after this, but that one's like a dumb question. This is the last question. If you could have like a message to all of the millions of listeners and boys and girls out there listening, what would your message be?
God, that's
millions of people. No pressure.
That's so much pressure. Millions of people
like
right on your shoulders here with your message.
Millions. Don't mess up now.
Oh gosh. I guess one thing that I've always been told throughout my whole life from anyone that's talked to me is, oh, I just hit it. Sorry, microphone. Okay. So one message that I think is really powerful to me is the fact that it comes from competitiveness, which I have in my top 5 strengths as a person. I am competitive. It's just who I am. But if somebody tells you no, prove them wrong. And if somebody tells you that you can, prove them right.
Okay. All right. That's a good message. I like that message.
Thank you.
This is the last question. I ask all the guests this. You know the Ice Bucket Challenge, where people used to nominate people after doing it?
Oh my God.
If you can nominate anybody, which I'm not saying they will be on the podcast or not, if you can nominate anybody, who would you nominate to be on the podcast?
On the podcast?
To talk show, the pod, either one.
Okay, so on this Majuber right here.
This Majuber, yep.
Yep. It's taking my grandma for what she is right there with Majuber. But I would say, so there's a girl named Hannah at the student life desk. She has kind of reddish brown hair. I can't remember her last name right now because it's just not coming to me. Yeah. In college, you never remember people's last names. It's not like high school where
last
you
names.
remember everybody's last name.
I forgot people had last names.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just say first name.
You're like, what's your name? You're like, Emily. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Emily.
It's whatever. So she's a definite good one because she's a very strong person. She made it through. She made it through everything to get to where she is right now. So I think she's a really good person to have on this podcast. And I don't know. I think regular, not to say that I'm, whatever towards theater kids, but I think any theater kid usually has a great load of trauma to go through to get to where they are. And they're obviously in college despite all of that.
Yeah.
Or because of all of that. I think that that's a really strong thing to happen. And same thing with student athletes too.
That is true. I was about to say, in theater kids especially, I feel like everybody has a story and why they're on the stage and want to express themselves and be like, yo, I'm here and I got something to say.
Yeah.
That's why I like theater people a lot.
Theater people are very cool for that one reason.
If you guys didn't know, we were both in theater.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah,
I know what it is.
The theater kids be out here. But were you ever a student athlete?
Yeah, I was. I was in football. I was in track. I was in basketball for 1 year. And I was in skiing. I was in a bunch of different stuff.
Dang.
Yeah.
So American football or like
football? American football.
Okay.
Yeah, well, not the football.
Definitely couldn't say with an accent like that. Good for you, Suf.
No, that I am dog water at soccer. But I still play soccer, but I'm trash at soccer.
I played soccer.
Were you good at soccer? Weren't you in basketball?
Yeah, but I also played soccer. Like when I was a tinier child, I definitely played like a crap ton of sports.
Soccer was fun.
Soccer was fun. I beat the crap out of everybody.
What the heck? I feel like I got less fun in my opinion.
Okay, not like beat the crap as of like punch somebody, but like I scored on them guys.
Okay, I bet you fought people on the. I was like, dang.
Can you imagine like 8-year-old Emily out there just beating?
Yeah, just throwing fists. I can imagine that. I don't think it would hurt anybody, but I can imagine it.
I definitely accidentally threw somebody to the floor my freshman or sophomore year of high school. Bless her soul. It's definitely happened to me before. Yeah. Basketball is way more contact than you think it is.
Yo, definitely. Yeah, people like always bumping each other. I got hit in the face with a basketball. I don't know how many times.
I got several concussions from basketball. Obviously, my biggest one wasn't from basketball. We've had that conversation in private before. But yeah, no. Basketball's rough.
Basketball is rough.
Yeah, especially when you have like Mike Dryder as a coach because he's an amazing person. I want to preference that. He's great.
Yes.
Great person.
Yeah, you about to say something bad about him? What's going on?
No. He just is very expressive as a person.
Is he like Matt?
He's not ever mad at you.
No, is he like Matt? Like the theater?
Oh, is he like Matt?
Yelling and stuff or no?
Yeah, he just expresses himself through yelling. But honestly, if I could pick I could ever pick a better high school girls basketball coach than Mike Dryder. He has over 1,000 wins right now under his belt.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's good at what he does then.
Yeah, and that was a year ago. And he develops people like none other, and he will never stop believing in you as long as you believe in yourself. So
that's like a good role model to have in the back of your head.
He is a guy that I would definitely. He is it right there.
He is it.
He is it for high school girls basketball coaches, and his son is one for. And no, he is also it. I think.
Oh, also like the same personality,
like
motivational, never giving up, things like this, persistent.
He has 3 sons, and one's taking over for him, and he plays one every year. So
dang, okay,
it's a little bit of a family rivalry moment, but it's all good.
It runs in the family.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. How do you say your last name anyway? I keep forgetting.
Geary. Yeah.
Guys, here's Emily Geary. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it. All right, boys. All right, girls, boys and girls.
See you later.
That is the end. I will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace out.
Yo, guys, thank you so much for watching that episode. That was a really good episode. Thank you, Emily, for coming on. Thank you, everybody who watches these episodes. This is the reason we do it. We appreciate you guys so much, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.